Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristen.
This is So I'm watching RuPaul's Drag Race, Season 15, Episode 14. Blame it on the edit. Blame it on the edit.
Bitch.
You're the one that said it. So this was a good episode. Not a ton happened. I know this goes without saying, and yet here we are saying it, but this is just not the place in the competition where we need the longer episodes.
So honestly, apologies if you're paying for the Patreon for this, because we were very...
It was fine. It was good. So it is the top four. It's Sasha, Luxx, Anitra, and Mistress Isabel Brooks, and they are going to be in the music video for RuPaul's Blame It On The Edit, which is a particularly
it's pretty good.
Cute song. We were talking about this because I listened to the album that came out I think it was last year. Mm-hmm. But it's cute. It's like club music, but you know how that kind of catchy can get under your skin. And it was very clearly kind of modeled after Janet Jackson and Michael Jackson's Scream.
It was very cool looking.
Sasha
unreal
bodied that.
The whole thing.
And on top of it, she did the thing that I love where she was doing barbed wire, just like straight Pamela Anderson barbed wire.
That's it. That's the thing he loves.
Kind of just that. But it was so clearly that, but it didn't feel like she was in a costume or like impersonating.
Sure, yeah.
Like she has this chameleon quality.
She really
where
does.
She can pull off so many of these things so well.
Especially for having such like a specific face. Mm-hmm. Like I would never mistake her for someone else, but it's like she has such a specific face and yet she's still able to chameleon into all these other things.
And her second,
it's kind of remarkable.
Her second look, that like
the
alien
thing,
orchid thing.
Michelle is right. We all want to fucking alien.
It was so
tonight.
good. Like it was like Katy Perry E.T.
Really good. Yeah.
I was trying specifically to pay attention to the verses. I like the verse challenge, or I like the challenge of writing a verse in a song. I think it's a skill set that a performer could or should have.
Yeah.
It's not as necessary as the ability to sew.
Sure.
But my issue with it is you run into there's a redundancy. It's sort of talking about how I'm here to snatch the crown and so knock these hoes down and like and to the pound.
It's all just like I'm hot and I'm better than you.
And so
that's usually it. And
you just know a lot of them you can sort of like pre-write.
Yeah.
Like stuff. So I tend to like a verse that has a little bit more like something to it, which Luxx sang a little bit in hers, and she went into a falsetto. I really appreciated that.
I think it was Luxx and Sasha were the ones that were my favorites. Because they were like two duos, essentially. They did like two, and then there was like a break, and then they did two, and I think those were the two that I liked the best.
Mm-hmm. And Luxx's bombshell look was fantastic, and Luxx and Sasha really nailed the music video part. Anitra did a great job. Mistress got in her head.
Well, Anitra was fumbling a little, but Mistress fumbled the hardest.
She just sort of, I forget the phrase I used. I used a phrase when we were watching it. She just sort of let herself, like she just sort of checked.
She choked.
That's what I said. I was like, Mistress is just straight choking. It wasn't great, because like even Michelle pointed out that once she stopped thinking about it, she could do the little like choreographed
she was like,
moments.
This outfit is really constricting, and it's like, okay.
Which I hated the costume.
Hers was after you said it, I noticed it. Hers kind of stuck out like a sore thumb compared to the other three. Yeah,
and like I for me, it quite literally it was Sasha, Luxx, Anitra, and Mistress in that order.
Yeah,
their costumes for this. From there, they did the Tic Tac lunch, which is cute. And
Sasha called it Tic Tac Chit Chat.
Yeah.
And I liked that.
I thought it was Tic Tac Talk.
I thought so too. Well, no, they did like a red table talk once that they called Tic Tac Talk, but
Legends Only, the podcast, they do TikTok Talk.
Oh, God.
That's where I got that from. That was
sweet.
Cute. It was
it
a little bit of rehashing and stuff. And
we had heard, I think, a lot of that. Except for Sasha, like, is in charge of her ancestral land in Hawaii, which I was like, okay. That's like a big deal.
Yeah. that was really cool. So from there,
and we as a duo here learned that Hawaii is one of the most openly accepting states of LGBTQ people. So
if you want to watch along with us, you can head on over to our Patreon at patreon.com/soimwatching-this-show and join the $3 tier. You can watch us watch this and several other things.
Yay.
From there, the runway was just kind of the like drag, the
drag excellence,
eleganza, yeah, the penultimate, which they do. We'll hit that in a minute, but the bottom was Anitra, arbitrarily, I would
think
kind of say.
Pretty arbitrary. Yeah.
Anitra, and then
especially
Mistress.
given the results of the episode, it's very arbitrary. Yeah.
So Anitra and Mistress lip sync to When Love Takes Over. It's Kelly Rowland is the vocalist. I don't think it's her song. I think it's maybe David Guetta. Okay. I love that song so much. Kelly Rowland is one of those like stealthy, like she has hits.
Sort of like, don't you like Ginger Spice's like
Jerry
solo stuff? Yeah.
Scream if you want to go faster.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
But no, I love When Love Takes Over and Commander. And I said actually because Michelle had a couple because I really like to Break the Dawn. But yeah, I was living my best life with that lip sync. And spoiler, surprise, Rue did a double Shantae. And so the four of them are in the finale.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. I like that. Especially because even though Mistress fumbled this just a little bit this episode, I want to see her finale.
Yes, now I was saying that at the beginning of our watch.
You were.
I was like, if we're basing it off of like finale runway looks alone, I think Mistress comes out ahead of Anitra for sure. Based on what we were assuming, but then Anitra wore that fantastic, amazing blue velvet dress.
So I'm excited for this finale.
I think it's such a strong top four. Like for me, there's not really like there's not like a clear last place.
Well, I was gonna say, is it a strong top four or is it just Sasha Colby's race to win?
Sasha Colby is absolutely going to win, but like all four of them are really strong. I like all four of them.
I know what you mean. So, okay, well, we'll look at the runway.
There was just like not enough meat in this episode to like warrant the whole runtime. Also, Rue's dress was pretty great. It was like kind of like a white gold platinum.
It was really nice. It weirdly,
like
it was the kind of like waist down that really got me. This silhouette I thought, or the neckline I thought was just fine. But Michelle looked
amazing,
wonderful.
I liked part of Ross's shirt. But there was like a weird like bolo tie style thing that I was not in love with.
That's like a thing that's happening right now.
I am aware of that. This is fantastic.
It is.
The wig is absolutely correct. What are you going to say?
It is. It's a little 2D for me.
What do you mean?
It's a blue velvet dress with a bunch of white appliques on it.
Yeah, but it's like the platonic ideal of a blue velvet dress with white appliques on it.
It's great. There's sort of a texture or a richness or a depth that's I could
You want more richness from this velvet?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
I think it's one of the best looks she's had.
It absolutely is. I think it's good.
I think it's very good. Second to the one with the spines on it. From what she's worn, because everything else was just a fucking bodysuit.
No, it's very good. The wig, I think, does the wig and the makeup.
The wig is
doing.
Well, and I like that it's also her, but it's like just elevated. I think it's great.
It's very good.
They did also keep referencing Flash Gordon, which I thought was very funny.
I do love that applique on the butt, the tassel on her asshole.
This is beautiful.
I think it's beautiful. I love this.
It is like 90% the hair for me. Yeah.
Actually, no, I love it. I think maybe I wish that the beading or the applique that's like here I think I wish maybe it made its way somewhere down to the bottom of the dress.
Either that, or if it had a matching this thing, but with the beads on the other side.
It's a little bit in the like side bustle, yeah. But I think I wish a little of it made it down onto the actual like column skirt.
It is absolutely beautiful, though. There's no
the
question.
The jewelry and the white. I mean, just white. That's
and the hair. I mean, you can't argue with the hair. This is the best one. It's so beautiful.
It is, and it for me, the dress is beautiful. The dress is fine, and I find it interesting that the dress isn't overdone.
Yeah,
because I think there's a reality where someone else or even Sasha could have done more with the dress, and I don't know if I think that would have been a mistake. I don't know.
I think it would have been a mistake because it's 100% beaded or like stoned or whatever. So like doing more with the dress, I think would have been too much. What it has is what it needs. I think it's perfect. It's so beautiful.
For me,
and it's the hair.
It's the arms and the bust, the head, and the hair, and the makeup.
Also, this neckline, this like really, really structured halter is really interesting as well. It's just beautiful.
And I can't tell.
And she's wearing the absolute shit out of it.
Oh, my God. I guess it is this runway lighting that we've been having issues with, because I was going to say it feels like more than just white or just platinum.
It's definitely more than just white. Because she also comes across like an orchid mantis. Yeah. It's great. It's fantastic.
I wrote a book called Fairy Tale, where Sasha Colby.
For the lady.
Yeah. It's about fairy tales, and there's an evil queen type character who is fashioned out of an orchid mantis.
I was just recently thinking Julia Stiles for Bianca. Yeah.
And I think Sasha Colby could be the evil queen.
Yeah, she could. It's just beautiful. It's just so shimmery, and the arm things. Yeah. I do like maybe 3% feel like I wish it wasn't a corseted back.
No.
But it's like such a low.
So that's actually what I started to say is I think I might have put a bustle or a train on it.
Okay. I think a little. But it would have been difficult to do because it's like, do you want that to also be completely stoned? You know? Yeah. It's like, it's difficult.
It's
beautiful.
The arm cuffs and just the variety of shapes and textures and
And then Mistress was there.
This didn't do much for either of us.
Really
and
like it at all.
I appreciate the craftsmanship.
Of course, yes.
Because she did talk about how the spots are not on the pattern.
They're beaded.
It's beaded.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that. But I think she's worn some phenomenal looks.
Yeah.
And this isn't
so
it for me.
I don't like the color. I don't like the way that the fringe is beaded. I think that a drop waist is a bad idea for her. And I think the hair is too dark. Yeah, it's not. It's like a lot of it's not. And she also like the white on her eyeshadow is too white. I wish that it had been more of the purple and less of the like. It's like clown face white where it's white on her eyes. It was like this was like the biggest miss for Mistress for me the whole season.
And she does not look bad.
No, she doesn't look bad, but it's not for me.
Like say she had 15 looks this season, this would be like my number 12.
I mean, at least.
Do you know what I mean?
Or at best, I guess, yeah. It's just not. It's not it. I think I already said it. But I think the color is
like wrong. I like the yellow she did with the big and
amazing.
The foreskin.
Yeah. Well, Anitra was the foreskin.
Was she okay?
But
well, then she had I don't know.
But it's also like she's done the drapey sleeve before too. But it's like something about the drapey sleeve then with the fringe feels very matronly, even though she's got the boob keyhole.
And part of me is like, well, part of me wishes the fringe went further then.
Like, was the whole thing?
No, like the sleeve was longer.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I don't know. There's just something about it.
It's the proportion, and for someone who's got such a lock on her shape and her proportions, these proportions are not it for me. It's the drop waist. I'm gonna keep saying it, but it's the drop waist where it's like just hitting her hips. It's not working for me. Yes, I love like clown white makeup. Again,
I love Mistress.
You're right. The beating is spectacular, but I just don't care for the look, like kind of at all. In which case, I am really glad that they did a double Shantae, because I would have hated for Mistress to go out because she like decided on the wrong dress for the finale.
Well, it would have been the dancing, and
I mean, it would have been both things, but yeah, it's not it for me.
So, yeah, so we're gonna have a top 4. Next week is going to be the reunion, which I am very excited for. And
God, Lucy is gonna be just insufferable.
I'm rooting for Lucy. I think she might have gotten the memo.
Okay.
You're like, and I love that you think that.
We'll see.
Apparently her finale dress, it's like very showgirl.
Lucy?
Yeah. And I'm like excited to get like Irene back and like some of those. Yeah. So, all right. Well, that was our conversation about episode 14. And if you didn't like it, you can blame it on my editing skills. So, bye.